Can I buy an engagement ring at a pawn shop? I asked both her dads for their daughter's hand step and biological. Both said yes. The mom was "Nya, give me a ring," but that was her mom's ring, but then decided not to, so now I have to pony up. It'll be a waste if I drop 2.5 months on a ring, cause my girl really ain't into jewelry and would rather have that money go to a house. Is it frowned upon to shop at pawn shops for a ring? For backstory, she would only care about the act of me bending a knee, but maybe I could find something nice at a good price. Hopefully there's no initials engraved. Thank you all for your opinions. Just wanted to ask. She's a cool chick and would rather something simple than me go all out. But I will let you in on my secret. My old boss's Nya take us out on a 75-feet yacht so I can propose in style. And I'm nervous again just reading these responses. Like all my friends are married and I'm finally actually understanding how they felt. That's quite a boss. In which case, I suggest a cheap placeholder ring for the proposal, so you don't drop a 1K ring overboard, and let her choose something with you together afterwards. Another option is vintage jewelry. My ring is a pretty art deco ring. If you do get it from a pawn shop, which is fine, I'd avoid telling people because no one needs shitty judgments about their ring. I hear you. I have a few friends who always serve up the compliment sandwich. Positive statement, slide in a negative opinion, end with something nice. Do what's right for you guys. I don't like diamonds, and my center stone is a large clear rose quartz. My hubby got a lot of flack from his family for not getting a diamond, but I adore my ring. Plus most people think it's a pink diamond anyway. So if you find a ring at a pawn shop they'll like, then by all means get it and get it cleaned/polished. Their opinion is what matters most. It's not just about the money. Some people are superstitious about wearing an engagement ring that would have been from a failed engagement or marriage. As long as you're 100% sure she won't care, then go for it. There are alternatives though if you doubt what she might think, like not listening to what the diamond industry tells you about the 2 months salary, choosing a ring that isn't a diamond, choosing a lab-created diamond, etc. Whatever you choose though, good luck on the proposal. I found a diamond I liked at a pawn shop and then had a jeweler put it in a new setting. The pawn shop ring was less than $500 and the new setting was $250. You give it to her in the jeweler's box, everyone wins. My 27F family are angry at me for wanting to hire a different nanny instead of continuing to use my sister, 34F. I found out I was pregnant after my ex, Luca, and I had already broken up. I was living with my sister at the time and she offered to watch my son whilst I went to work at a discounted rate. She used to be a nanny. At first, it worked out really well, but she gradually started increasing the price as time went by. She also started charging me more rent despite my son and I only occupying one room, whilst her husband and her 2 children had 3 rooms between them. Whenever I would complain about how I was eating into my savings paying for childcare and was going to find a job where I could work from home, she kept insisting I should just make Luca pay more child support or ask his parents for the money. To his credit, Luca was already paying more than he legally had to and had already increased it twice to try and mitigate the rising childcare costs. Things got messy when he was visiting our son and my sister kept calling him a deadbeat. The next time he was supposed to visit he asked me to bring our son to his house instead because he wanted to talk privately without her. He showed me the market rate of a nanny in our area to prove she was massively overcharging me. He also showed me the rent price of houses in my area to prove I was likely paying more than half of the rent, despite only using a quarter of the rooms. We had already started dating again by this point too, so he suggested I move in with him because the schools in his area are much better than where I was living also. I gave my sister 2 months warning that I was going to move out. This already caused a huge stir in my family and they kept insisting moving in with Luca was a mistake even though he wouldn't ask me for money every single time I asked him if he could watch our son for 5 seconds, but since we kept using my sister as a nanny temporarily, they didn't complain too much. Then the lockdown started and both me and Luca were working from home, My hours were also cut a lot, so we didn't really need my sister to watch our son anymore. The problem is now Luca has to start traveling again for business, which means he won't be here as often to help me watch our son, and my hours are increasing again. We've started looking for another nanny but haven't had much luck yet. The topic came up whilst I was Skyping my mum and she suggested I just ask my sister again. When I told her I didn't want to, she gave me a long lecture about why I should. She also said I was the reason my sister had to move into a smaller place and what I did was very selfish. I ended up hanging up on her, but my parents have both been calling and texting me non-stop about this. I think Luca is pulling me away from my family so he can manipulate me, and that he made all of that stuff about overcharging me up so he could get out of paying child support. They've also brought up our breakup and keep using that as a reason I shouldn't stay with him because he hasn't really changed. They also bring up his parents a lot and say my son is going to turn out like them if I'm not careful. They think they're snobby. They're also threatening to not speak to me unless I rehire my sister. My sister has also called me crying about how she's been really struggling since I left and she's guilting me for robbing her of time with her nephew. I really don't know what to do now. I feel really guilty, but at the same time I know Luca won't budge on rehiring her even if I suggest it. What do I do now? Too long didn't read. My sister massively overcharged me for both childcare and rent. Need a nanny again and my family want me to use her, but I would rather get a different nanny. Your sister sounds extremely manipulative. She tricked you out of money by making it seem like she was doing you a favor when she was actually overcharging you. Plus, she hasn't apologized, nor do your parents think it's a problem. I wouldn't trust her to look after your son and charge you a fair rate after this. Find an alternative nanny and make clear to your sister why she was screwing you over, not helping you. Get a nanny that won't overcharge you. She's guilting me for robbing her of time with her nephew. Let her know if she wants to spend time with nephew. I'd love to have her hang out with him. That's her choice to do so. She seems like she only wants to watch him if she's getting paid. Your child, your decision. Your family sounds not healthy. You are not obligated to hire your family for childcare, and it sounds like your family is being unrealistic and overly dramatic, not to mention taking advantage of you. Keep on the path you are on. It sounds to be the healthier choice. This is why you don't mix business and family. Do what is right for you. You do not have to change plans to assuage their feelings. They can manage their emotions like adults. 31M, my girlfriend, 28F, recently told me she felt physically unsafe with me. My girlfriend and I are super weird. We do things like randomly grope each other in public, funny dry hump in elevators, and some other odd physical interactions at times. We have been dating for over a year now. Recently she expressed that she felt uncomfortable with our physical interaction the other day. She opened up the conversation by asking me if I've ever hit and so before. I felt shook when she said this and admittedly became quite defensive. I continued to let her explain because I was very confused. I've never even been in a fight before. I'm lucky that I'm a pretty big guy, but also very pleasant. She said that I was being overly physical and groping her too much that day, humped her in the elevator. We were both laughing. She grabbed my dick earlier in the other building, so I didn't think anything of it, and wasn't showing enough loving affection. I can understand this and apologized. She then brought up a specific example of another instance that happened that day which made her feel unsafe enough to pose that question, and this is when it all went south. She specified on the way home from the gym that I was being way too rough in how I was holding her. She said she felt restrained and unsafe. I admit I was holding her tightly. In my mind it was fine and I was keeping her warm, and I apologized for this. She is very small compared to me. This whole time we were fine though, laughing and talking. During this walk home I picked her up with two hands and pretended to throw her by outstretching my arms, but did not. Placed her down gently with my two hands, never leaving her person. I pick her up all the time, so this isn't out of the ordinary. She went on to tell me that during this moment I kicked, kneed, or punched her in the back, or at the very least pretended to and accidentally hit her. I did not do any of these things and explained exactly what I did. She's telling me because she felt a small circular hit on her back it had to be me kneeing her now. She admits that she didn't see anything and it didn't hurt, but I had to knee her because it's what she felt. To me this is super illogical and it feels like she is trying to just convince me I hit her for some reason. I'm really confused and worried, not only about how I feel but making her feel unsafe. I am just not understanding where it all came from. We are now at a crossroads where she is just calling me a liar and we can't move past it. I'm not willing to budge on this issue, as I would never hit her or another person unless it was self-defense. I have been trying to talk to her, but she keeps bringing this up and telling me she knows I need her in the back, because she felt it, and I am just protecting my ego and gaslighting her. I'll be honest, we have both lied to each other in the past and come clean. So I know this plays a part, but it's been months now and this physical stuff came out of nowhere. I will make a note of one more thing, because I want you to see both sides and not just mine. Earlier that day she came home and scared the living fuck out of me while I had my headphones on. We lived together. In the moment I was not happy, I just got scared half to death, and did give her a mean glare. The day before she pulled my beard very hard after we just had a conversation where I asked her not to do that. I glared at her then as well. She brought this up as well, saying it made her pose that starting question and caused her to feel unsafe. Sorry if this seems one-sided, or it's written like shit. I'm not good at writing. Regardless, I want her to feel comfortable and safe with me. I am just not willing to admit something that I didn't do. I keep trying to explain that I am sorry I made her feel this way and move on, but she keeps bringing it up, saying it's ridiculous that I can't admit it and I'm making it worse. Am I being a dick? Should I just drop it? Should I keep trying to talk to her? We both feel hurt and resentful at this point, so I have no idea where to go with this. Every time I try and talk it just gets worse. Edit. This got a larger response than I thought it would. I will not be able to respond to everyone, but I will take the time to read what you posted. Thank you all for taking the time to help me out. The beard thing makes me worried. It makes me wonder if you've passed a threshold into more physicality which could accidentally get out of hand. Also, I gave my now wife a brotherly dig in the leg when we were dating and quickly realized that she is not my sibling but my treasure. I'd advise tender touch or nothing, dude. It's probably in your best interest to sit her down and tell her you are no longer comfortable with physical play, roughhousing, dry humping, dick grabbing, groping, etc. until you both learn to establish and respect boundaries. You are setting yourself up for a world of hurt if you continue to be physical with her after she accused you of something you did not do and demonstrated she is unwilling to hear and story contradictory to her belief. Furthermore, she has demonstrated disrespect towards clear established boundaries, beard pulling, and apparently has no issue putting people in defensive positions, scaring when you're home alone. Both are concerning as they can prompt physical/aggressive reactions. Finally, you need to figure out why she is concerned about you having hit a so in the past. Does she believe that you, as a man, are inherently prone to commit physical violence? Or has your mutual physical play convinced her that you specifically will commit physical violence and could easily overpower her? You both have some issues you need to resolve, and I would put a hard stop on any physical play until you do. Thanks a lot for this. We'll go through with this and stop any type of physical play until we are both on the same page again. That's what I'm worried about mainly. I've never shown aggression towards her in any physical way. I believe I may have yelled twice throughout our relationship, so even that was limited. So it was all very much from left field for me. Thank you very much for your response.